Okay, I'm packed up. I'm ready to go this morning. Haven't had breakfast yet, but I'm going to get some miles in me first. I got about half a tank of gas, and we'll see how far that takes me. Fairly big day today, over 500 miles. It's going to take 4.5 hours just to get to the Gateway Arch. And it is currently coming up on 7:30, so I should be there noonish, maybe 1 or 2 o'clock, something like that. All right, let's get on the road. Made my way into Kentucky, and I'm actually still on 51, and it's part of the Trail of Tears, so I'm seeing signs for that every once in a while. I just filled up with gas in this small town, but they don't have a restaurant here, so I'm going to keep driving until I find something to eat. Okay, the curb is not yellow. I am not seeing any no parking signs. There is a couple of cars in front of me. So I'm taking it must be okay to park here. God, I tell you, trying to get down to the arch, it's been a pain in the ass. And I've got to walk quite a ways now to get to it. There's a wedding going on down here somewhere. So they've pretty much taken up all the parking that's by the arch. Oh, I don't know. But so now I just gotta walk to the arch. Hopefully get on and ride up to the top. And hopefully I'll find someone that's selling a shot glass. All right. Helicopter. Well, at least I get to walk along the riverfront. That'll be nice. Parking on this side of the river, but it's such a steep slope. I was actually afraid to park my bike on it for fear of it tipping over. So I like the spot where I'm at. Like I said, it's just a bit of a walk. Alright, I know that they call this the gateway to the west. But that means that it's also the gateway back east, right? Okay. Oh, holy crap. This is the line to get a ticket to go up into the arch. Guess I'm not doing this today. Looks like they do have a visitor center underneath, so let's go check it out. Okay, past security, everything's going good so far. They do have a gift shop down here. Now, if you're going on the ride, keep on going down past the stairs. But I am not doing that. I'm not getting a souvenir photo. I did that at Texas Stadium, so I'm not doing it here. Alright, let's see what the gift shop has. Oh, damn it. They didn't have my shot glass for me. Well, there's some other things I can take pictures of while I'm here, though. How about that? I got my tram ticket and I didn't have to wait outside. I got a desk right down here that you can buy tickets for. All those people are waiting for hours outside and with blazing sun on and the air conditioning got my ticket. Emergencies. It's like a rocking boat.
Oh, wow. It's supposed to rock.
I would have been okay taking the stairs.
It's a long way up.
I would have been dead about a quarter of the way up.
They don't let you.
That's the ceiling. Okay, I'm still good. Okay, I'm at the top. I'm at the very top. 630 feet up. 630 feet. Okay, that's all I needed to do. I got up here, I looked around. It's crowded up here, it really is. I'm in door number 2. Okay, my day at the Arch is done. I just need to grab something to drink. You know what? I need lunch. Let's go for lunch instead. Okay, this here is the very center corner of the arch. It's triangular shaped. So this indicates the divide line. So technically right now, I'm in the west. Now I'm in the east. Now I'm almost home. Okay, it's just about the moment of truth. Find out if my bike is still there or if it got towed away. Yay, it's still there. Okay, so we have a winner in the barbecue. The best place I found was in St. Louis. Now I hope I can get out of this city without getting in an accident. Maybe I should stop filming. Alright, gonna go. Okay, change of plans. I'm going home tonight. I was, gosh, probably 30 minutes from my hotel. And I was just happenstance to try to, I put in my home destination, and it was only like 4 hours away. So I was like, fuck it, I'm going home. So I know that with my booking, I'm going to still have to pay for the room. But I'm going to be home tonight. I'm going to be able to see my wife and my kids. So yeah. I won't be home until probably about a little after 9 would be my guess. I'm going to have to, I'm stopped for a dinner break right now. And I'm at a pilot station. So I'll just fill up with gas here, but I'll probably have to do it one more time before I get home. It's kind of on that iffy line, especially because I'm going to be going into a headwind. But I'm down by Atlanta, Illinois. See if I can find the actual name of the town. McLean. It was the name of the town I'm in. And I'll be jumping on 55 and heading home. And actually, as I'm driving, I'm noticing some fairly dark clouds and moisture in the air. It's actually become very cold. Again, probably about 30 minutes outside of, actually not even that. I think 15 minutes from my hotel, it got cold. I mean, it was like close to a 10-degree drop, and the winds went from going east-west to north-south. And so yeah, there's definitely going to be a storm coming through this area, and if I can avoid driving through that in the morning like they're expecting it to be like, then I will by all means I'll skip that. So, but I've got a steak sandwich coming and some fries and fuel up the bike and jump on the highway. I'm about 2.5 hours away from home right now. So I'm probably thinking by the time I eat and everything, it's probably going to be closer to 3, maybe close to 3.5, with gas fill-ups and all that other stuff. So I'm hoping to be home by 9:30, 10 at the latest. I'm hoping. Alright, I'm going to eat my dinner and get going again. Well, I arrived home and it's actually been a couple of days. That ride was ridiculous. What had happened, I was really starting to miss my wife and kids, so I was looking at the map and my hotel was 4 hours from home. And I know that there was rain coming and everything, and I just didn't know if I wanted to, spend the night, and then, it would have been a decent day if I would have just gone to the hotel and spent the night, but then the next morning they were calling for rain, and it would have been rain all the way home, and 4 hours of rain, it's not fun. So after my dinner stop, I was getting back on the bike and I was starting to feel a little chilled. So it's like, well, maybe I ought to lose the textile jacket and go with a leather jacket. And then I also put away the textile gloves and went with my heavier leather gloves. And I took off down the road and I was doing pretty good, and man, that wind was coming straight at me. It was just beating me up. It was jerking my head all over the place. The clouds are looking ominous and dark, and and it was getting colder and colder the farther north I went. I mean, I think I only got like a half an hour down the road, and I pulled over. I had to put my chaps on because my legs were getting cold. I also had to I took off my leather jacket, put on my blue hoodie sweatshirt that I had, and my dickie to cover up my neck, put my leather jacket back on. So I was, again, same way I left, in full gear. I had everything on. And and I stayed fairly comfortable. I can't complain about that. My riding attire does keep me warm for what I need. And when I got home, we have a little weather station here on the wall, and it's got an outdoor thermometer and stuff like that, and it was below 40 degrees. I think it was around 38, 37, 38, something like that. So it was getting cold. But at least I didn't hit any rain, so that was the good part. I didn't get home until 9:45, I think it was. And I brought everything in and emptied out all my saddlebags, and started getting, dirty laundry down in the basement. A lot of my textile stuff, the textile jacket and gloves, the dickie. I even took out the pads in my helmet and got those downstairs to get washed. And it was primarily because, I was using a lot of suntan lotion and it was getting on everything. And I mean, I'm sure in a lot of my shots, I couldn't see because the screen just does not overcome the brightness of the sun. So I can't really see what I'm shooting all the time. And I'm sure there are times where, you know, I started out in the morning or just had a break and I put sunscreen on and I put it on my face. I'm sure there's going to be shots that I've got white all over my face, okay? So enjoy those moments. But it's actually been raining. It's actually been raining here the last couple of days, and I wanted to do this video just to say that I did make it home. My trip was amazing, and I would highly recommend it to anybody who's a serious rider. You know, doing those long cross-country trips, I mean, it'll take it out of you. I'm beat. I don't want to go driving. You know, I drive for Uber and Lyft, and I'm just so exhausted. I don't want to yet. You know, that's one of the good things is that I'm my own boss. So I've looked at my money situation. I'm okay right now. I don't need to get out and drive. I'm sure my wife would like it if I did. But yeah, I just want to still take it easy, recuperate a little bit more, and then get back into my regular life again. Now, when I got home, my wife was telling me that my doggy Bree, just the day or two before, did have another seizure. She'd been doing really well up until now. I mean, she's still acting normal, you know, for a dog of 15 years. She's acting normal. You know, she sleeps a lot. She doesn't run around. She's old. She's got glaucoma or cataracts, one of the two in her eyes. You know, it's the one where the eyes start going milky. You know, they're not clear anymore. So she's got that going. She's got growths all over her. You know, like little skin tags. They almost look like giant moles. You know, and she's got them all over her. I think her hearing is going. You know, I'll call for her and her ears don't perk up or nothing. I tell you though, I got home, I got everything off the bike and inside and on the table so I could start going through it. And she was sitting on this couch over here, just sleeping. And I started calling for her. I go, Bree, Bree, Bree. And I was getting no response from her, so then I whistled for her, and man, her ears perked up and her head came up. She's like, I know that. I know that voice. Who is that? She was happy to see me. She came walking over. Like I said, she's 15. She doesn't run anymore. She came walking over, and her tail was just a wagging. She was happy to see me. Weren't you, baby? You been a good girl? Are you being a good girl? Gonna come here? No, you gonna stay in bed? Okay. My phone would, of course, change time in the time zones, and I don't know if it was changing the time on the photo to correspond with the phone. And I haven't looked into it yet. So, I mean, some of my photos, you know, once I start getting further out west, some of those photos compared to the phone are going to be an hour or 2 hours off. So I'm going to have to kind of play with everything once I start going through everything. And, you know, I'm starting to make these videos that are coming up on YouTube. I'm going to have to play with everything and make sure that they're all in order the way I need them to be. I mean, you know, I've had situations where, you know, like my GoPro and my video camera were a few hours off. You know, it would have been like an hour and 15 minutes. I don't know how it got that way or anything like that. So when I've gone through and redid them, I basically just changed the name on the icon to the time where I think it should be. But I mean, things just still weren't falling exactly in order. You know, I know that I had taken this picture first and then this GoPro footage was after it, but now the GoPro footage is first and the picture's after it. You know, but as long as it's close, I don't really care. I do need to get the bike down to the car wash, get all the bugs and dirt and grime off of it. I think it's funny though, I was sitting there looking at my boot and where the leather meets the sole of the boot, you know, it's all colored in dust and grime in there. I always think that's a cool look. You know, that shows that someone's been around. You know, if your boots are looking spotless and brand new, either you're anal and you wash everything all the time, or you ride a lot. Right now, my boots show that I ride a lot. My last day, I started in Dyersburg, Tennessee, and I already had Tennessee and Kentucky shot glasses, so I didn't have to worry about those. I had gotten those on a trip a long time ago. But I think it was the trip when Berto and I went down to Florida. But anyway, so I went from Tennessee to Kentucky to Illinois, into Missouri, back in Illinois, and into Wisconsin. So what is that, like 5 states in one day? That's not too bad. So I covered 14 states, some of them twice. I went into Missouri for St. Louis. I was in Illinois both on the way out and on the way back, and of course Wisconsin. But I'm not counting those twice. I did 14 separate states. My odometer was 5,509.8 miles. The only issue I really had was picking up that nail in and around Albuquerque. I think I drove in every single type of weather condition that I can think of. I drove in the cold. I drove in the heat. I drove in the sun. I drove when it was cloudy. I drove in high winds. I drove when it was calm. I rode when it was raining. I rode when it was hailing. And I rode when it was snowing. I think about the only thing I didn't have on the trip, and you can maybe kind of say that it happened on my last night on my way here. I thought it was a little bit foggy, you know, but I mean, to me it really wasn't a fog, it was just like a heavy haze. You know, you could see for, you know, a mile or so down the road yet, but, you know, I mean, everything started to haze out, you know, farther away. So I can't really say that was fog. But, yeah, I've ridden in everything just on this trip alone. I stayed in some very nice hotels. I met some very wonderful people. I'm not even talking the VRA people. The VRA people out there, they are sweet. I was like a long lost brother. You know, people asking me questions about where I was and what I was doing and what I'd seen, and it was a lot of fun. And But I mean, even the people going out and coming back, you know, going to the gas stations and talking to people, and you know, and it was amazing how many people I met that are basically from the Wisconsin, Northern Illinois area. It was just amazing. I almost think that I think just about every day, except for a couple, I met somebody from Wisconsin or Illinois. When I'm saying, you know, a lot of people, you know, they'll say they're from Chicago or something like that, you know, or Crystal Lake, or you know, just something. So that's usually what I mean by Northern Illinois. It's just basically the Chicagoland area. And I consider that part of Wisconsin because originally it was. No joke. Chicago was part of Wisconsin. Look it up. Wisconsin actually went all the way to the southern tip of Lake Michigan. But then Illinois wanted part of the Lake Michigan shoreline. And so Wisconsin said, okay, we'll give you some, and they moved it like 30, 40 miles. But I also feel that this is going to be my last long distance ride for quite a while. I'm not saying I'm never going to do one again. I do have plans of stuff I want to go see and do and whatnot. But you know, last year I did Oregon. This year I did Nevada. Next year, my wife and I are celebrating our 25th, so we're saving up money to do that. So I don't think I'm going to have money to do a long trip. And then, you know, maybe the year after that. Maybe. So it's going to probably be at least, you know, 2 years before I get to do anything like this again. You know, and I don't know where I want to go or what I want to do. You know, I know of places I want to go. I want to go up to Alaska. I want to go to the Northeast. You know, I want to get into Connecticut, and Maine, and Vermont, and Massachusetts. You know, I want to get up into that area. You know, basically, even in my family outings, I've never been north of New York. New York is pretty much where my line is. Now on the motorcycle, I've never been past Pennsylvania. That's been the highest northeastern point I've ever gone. So then I of course want to get down south. You know, I've never been to the Carolinas at all. I've never been in any of the Carolinas. I've been in West Virginia, Georgia, you know, but I've been out in Florida, but never on the bike. You know, pretty much everything southeast of the Mississippi, I've never ridden it. I had gotten home, and I was, you know, I'm texting friends and stuff like that, and putting up Facebook posts and stuff. And I texted my friend Dell saying, hey, I'm home. You know, I got home a day early. Do you want to go out for breakfast? He's like, yeah, sure. And he's like, well, let's just go to Road Dog, you know, out by the highway. So we went out there and we found parking. We got in, and yeah, they were busy, and but we were able to get seated immediately. We just had their buffet, which I only did one trip. I don't like buffets. I don't trust the food that's in them. You know, that's just a personal preference of mine, going through culinary school, hearing stories and stuff like that. I just cannot do buffets. I just don't. Now, if it's a buffet line for an event, like like we had at the rally, we had a dinner, and they had it set up buffet style. Everybody went through the line, picked up their. That's something different. All that food came out fresh. You know, stuff that sits out in the restaurants. How long has that stuff been sitting there? You know, you go walking in. You know, everything's full, and there's only like 5 people in that restaurant. How long has that food been sitting there? You know, and is it being held at the proper temperatures? You know, those are the things that cross my mind. But anyway, talking with Dell, and just happened to be that our booth was right across from a country map. And so he wanted to know the route that I took, and I told him all the states that I hit, and then you know, so how many states have I hit? You know, on that side of the Mississippi. I said, well, I've hit everything except North Dakota. And he looked at me and goes, so you've been to Louisiana? It's like, no. I completely forgot about Louisiana. You know, that's also technically the west side of the Mississippi. You know, and in my mind, for some reason, I was thinking it was on the east side of the Mississippi. So yeah, 2 states now on the west side of the Mississippi. I've got North Dakota and Louisiana that I have to hit. So do you guys want to see the shot glasses that I got? Sure, I'll show them to you.